All right, good morning, everybody. How we doing? How we feeling? It is officially hump day. Why is it so high? All right. Make sure everything is good. It's like we're gonna have a long winter this year. It's cold already over here in South Carolina. It's kind of rare. All right. All right, so let's get right into this. We got a couple things to cover this morning. All right, so looking at the economic calendar, we already had the ADP non-farm employment change at 8:15. We got another Powell event today at 10, and crude oil inventories at 10:30. Hopefully it's better than yesterday. It was really choppy yesterday. I only managed to get a couple of scalps in. So tomorrow, initial jobless claim, ISM non-manufacturing PMI, and then Fridays we got non-farm payrolls and unemployment rate. That is the economic calendar. Let's switch on over to the power range report. All right, for the NQ future sessions today, we got a high of 12,472.25 for the power range, of course, and a low of 12,435.75. At the time of this posting, we were trading neutral, down 0.23% with a volume of 49K and 228.87 ATR. So right now we're kind of trading the volume is it's relatively low. And you see we we had to sell off at the open. It's a slight sell off, trading really this retracement back to support. Hung around in that range for a few hours, and now we're kind of selling down into back into some more support here. It's pretty significant support at basically 400 or 290 or 393 ish. Where we had resistance before we broke out into new highs yesterday. So that's what we're looking at for NQ today. Yeah, like we got a little momentum that's trying to come in right now. So anyway, that's what I'm looking at, in terms of NQ today. So I'm gonna do a little something different today. All right. Instead of the quote of the day is all good and everything, but kind of want to go a little deeper, especially kind of from things that I get into the reason of why I'm even going this direction this morning, or talking about what I'm talking about this morning, which is margin, or trading or investing on margin. You can probably see that from the title of today's stream. So I'm gonna try to do this in less than 5 minutes. So just a quick little overview and why, to answer the question that I hear a lot of times about trading on margin or using margin. All right, so here's what margin is. You can read that if you want to, but basically margin is you're borrowing money from the broker to be able to give you more buying power in your account, right? So like if you have a small amount of cash, that you want to start investing with, but you want to get into some of the higher price stocks, for whatever reason, what you can do is you can, request to get in a margin account. And if you get approved for a margin account, then you get to borrow money from the broker to, it gives you ability to do more with with your account, versus you just using a small cash account. Or you can be you can even trade margin with a sizable cash account, like whatever that number is for you. So that's basically what margin is. It's just borrowing money from your broker that gives you more buying power, right? So so to put the put this into a little more context. So let's say like if you're normally in a position and it starts to go against you, you're not losing money until you sell, right? But with a margin account, if you are investing, let's say you're trying to invest on margin and the position goes against you to an extent to where you don't have enough cash to support that position anymore, then what can happen is you can end up getting a margin call from the broker, and you'll either be forced to close the position, or you have to put some more cash into your account to cover your half or your end of the position, right? So usually in general you'll be required to put about 50%, and then the rest, the other 50%, the other half will be from the broker into that position. And that can vary from broker to broker. So if we look over here, and this is just this is from Trade Zero. This is an offshore broker, which you get some of the highest leverage that I've seen. It was Sure Trader was another one. I don't think they're in business anymore, or they're going out of business. But you can get either from 1-to-1 ratio or to a 6-to-1 ratio. So basically that means it's self-explanatory. If I got $1,000 cash that I'm putting into an account with a 6-to-1 ratio, then that gives me the buying power like I have $6,000 cash in that account, but actually the broker is covering 6 times of what I have in that account for that position. So the reason that I'm even like this is even a topic is a lot of times I hear a lot of influencers in our industry that just basically when they talk about margins to new traders or to new investors, they just tell them just stay away from it. Pretty much they scare the new investors or new traders out of using margin. But just like anything else with our trading or with our investing, with our participate, even if like with a business, you don't want to operate. You don't want to let fear dictate what your decision making. You don't want to let fear dictate if you're going to do something or not do something. So the correct approach is to learn as much. If you're interested in using margin, learn as much as you can about it. And then, once you fully understand what it is and how it works and how it can affect your account and, your whatever your goals are, whatever you're trying to do, then you make a decision if it's right for you or not, because it's there for a reason. And a lot of successful investors and traders use margin. So you can't just say, just stay away from it. I can go deeper into that, but with this whole 5-minute thing, I'm trying to if I get ideas later, I can go a little deeper into it while we're trading. But I wouldn't recommend someone that's new to all of this to invest, meaning you're gonna hold a stock for 5+ years. I wouldn't recommend using margin for that, but it can definitely be beneficial if you're trying to trade on margin. And it's easy to mitigate the possibility of you getting a margin call. It's all you have to do is have a solid risk management plan, right? Or risk management strategy. So if you only, let's say you're only going to risk 2% of your cash, the amount of, or the 2% of the total amount of your buying power, or even you want to risk 2% of the amount of cash you got into, that you put into your account, you don't have to worry about a margin call, right? As long as you, follow your plan and you manage your risk, then the margin call is not, it's not gonna, it's very unlikely that you'll have a margin call unless, just a worst case scenario happens and, for whatever reason, you end up negative in the trade more than your risk management plan said you should be, right? So when I started, I started on a margin account. I was trading stocks, and then, when I first started day trading, I was trading stocks in a margin account. And all I just managed my risk, so I never even got close to having a margin call or anything like that. So I just wanted to break that down real quick, give a better answer than the answers that I've been hearing, lately about margins. When new traders ask about, trading and investing on margin. And let me go ahead and get my pre-market snapshot in. If you want to know more about margin, I do have some links in the description of this video. And of course, with futures, that's a whole different topic. Margins is a completely different thing. You can see here on CME Group's website, they go into what margin means for futures. And basically for futures, margin is how much cash you got to have, on hand in order to buy a contract of whatever you're trying to trade, right? And it varies from contract to or from instrument, between whatever the underlying asset is. They each have their own margin requirements. All right, so if you want to know more about that link is also in the description below, as well as about margin, as well as about everything you need to know. I got links in the description below. All right, so let me go ahead and get this in. All right, we got about 3 minutes to the open. I can go ahead and get this out of the way. It might help if I turn on the volume. All right, so just following my strategy, I'm going to be looking for shorts today. the trend is definitely short for the entire session. I see a significant amount of volume at 400. That was my key level from before yesterday. I actually almost ended up breaking my rule yesterday in terms of my trading window. I wanted to trade outside of the window or longer than I normally did, but I actually just ended up sticking to that rule and being disciplined. I have to come back and get it another day. So hopefully it's not too choppy. Then the Powell thing kind of, I would have liked, a little more volatility, like directional volatility, to come into the market at that time. Actually, like Fed information or Fed events haven't been, hitting the same as they usually do, during the latter part of this year. Like what I'm used to seeing is, well, at least from 2019 and before that, usually on Fed news you get a huge spike in one direction and you'll get a significant move that you can take advantage of. We got the selling momentum coming in right now. Let's see if we can continue to hold it. We have to wait for this first candle to close. We are, if I'm looking at this 30-minute, we are trading into some support. Well, we got a little room to go. Just a little bit of room to go.
Order submitted.
I'll take the momentum with 2 contracts.
Order filled.
Not looking for a big target here. I mean, remember to try to get my screenshot for it. We are trading into some pretty significant support. Definitely got to be disciplined.
Order submitted.
I was trying to adjust the. I'm in 2 contracts, and I was trying to adjust the position to where. Let's change this over. To where I could take one at my typical first target and then take the other at the second target. And I thought I figured over the weekend I was playing around with it, and I thought I figured out a way to manipulate the main target and pull, however many out, but it didn't work the same now. So I actually didn't end up getting to. I guess the only real way to do it is to, to use these up here. And then to use the order, the whatever you call this window on the right. Yeah, I'm using Ninja Trader and Leeloo.
Order submitted. Order filled.
I went ahead and closed it because I'm also keeping in mind we got the 10 o'clock thing, and yesterday there was a slight spike, when 10 o'clock hit, or when the Powell event hit. So I don't want to hold. I don't want to, just to make sure I'm not holding during that time period. And we're really choppy right now, so I didn't like the price action either. But the main thing, main reason why I didn't hold that position for long, because I don't want to hold through the Powell event. We got about 20 minutes before that. More than likely, I'll wait until after that before taking another trade. So it can do whatever it wants to do now. I'm not even worried about it at this point. It's very volatile right now. So we're seeing price action similar to what we saw yesterday. Seems to be a bigger range, if I remember correctly. Yeah, yesterday was doing this bullish pretty much. And it sold off hard before the bounce, and it went on a little run after 10:30. I think the bounce happened at like 10:30 on the dot, right at the end of my session. You know, sometimes it feels personal sometimes, even though I know it's not. So if this was like a afternoon thing, where we had like where we have like a FOMC afternoon, and I'm trying to trade it, what I would do is I wouldn't make any trades besides the morning session. I would trade the morning session, and then I would wait until, let's just say there's a FOMC event at 2 p.m. I would wait until after that event, let that first, so it's at 2 p.m. Once that 2 p.m. candle comes in, I will let that candle play out, and then I make my decision, you know, if I'm going to, you know, play it, or if I'm going to, you know, what I'm going to do. Yeah, it feels quote of the day. That's how it, yep. It can definitely feel personal sometimes. So I took that first trade, and I'm basically gonna handle this Powell testifying thing the same way. I'm gonna let 10 o'clock hit, let that first, for me, since I'm looking at a 3-minute chart, let that 3-minute candle close at 10. So basically 10:04, well, I won't have any trades until 10:04 at the earliest. And in the meantime, I'm just watching and getting the experience. Hopefully within the next couple of weeks, the market gives me a nice little trending day. Just one of those times where at the open it just, you know, takes off in either direction and it continues to run. That's the kind of day I need right now, because I'm halfway to the goal in Leeloo. So if I could just get one day like that. With all this, you know, this choppy volatility, and then since I'm only trading an hour a day, 9:30 to 10:30, it can be hard to, you know, get a sizable or decent win, or make decent progress just in that small window. But I made it like that for a reason. So, and it's not worth changing it, not at this point. Yeah, that's all you really need, honestly. Like, you could get a lot of success in this business just trading an hour a day. You know, there's a lot of beliefs. I could go, you know, I could talk about it all day, but I'm not. But just to say this point, and then, you know, I'm gonna leave it alone. Where people say they don't like to day trade, they rather swing trade or whatever, because They think that day trading means you got to sit in front of the computer for hours a day and all day. You got to be watching the market all day. That's not true. But it's true to the extent of what you believe in. But that's another topic for another day. But all it takes, no matter if you're trading stocks, forex, futures, options, you don't need to, once you find your space, once you find your groove, you don't really need to be sitting in front of a desk, in front of the computer all day. That's most of your trading efforts, and most of the efforts you put into your trading business should be preparation. Just like an athlete, professional athlete, like a basketball player, they spend hours practicing in the gym and watching game film, and they spend most of the best, like a Kobe Bryant or LeBron James or Michael Jordan or the greats. They spend hours, into their craft, into whether that's working out, putting up shots or whatever it is. They spend hours doing that, but the game is only 48 minutes. They spend days and hours just for that 48-minute game. So trading is pretty much the same thing. You're going to put most of your effort into studying and making sure you fully understand whatever it is you're trading, and making sure you're well versed in your strategy and that you understand your strategy. And then once the market is open and your trade window is open, you trade in your hour, your 30 minutes, or your 2 hours, whatever time frame you're comfortable with. And you just do that consistently. And that's all it really takes. And with this price action, I'm glad I decided to just watch. I can see ways to have traded, this area right here, or even I could have held that first trade for a little bit. For me personally, it's just not the funnest thing to trade, and it just wasn't, giving taking everything into consideration. It's just, for me, I would rather just not trade this mess here. As I'm looking at the daily chart, I can see a sell-off potential. I can see sell-off potential. That's not advice to do anything. That's just what I'm just sharing what I see. I'm not, disclaimer. I am not a financial advisor. And I'm not giving you advice to take any trades or to do anything with your account. Your account is your responsibility. Just sharing my opinion and my perspective. But with all that being said, I do see a potential sell-off. Looking at yesterday's low. $3.12. An insane V-shaped pattern. much of anything is happening right now. See, the bulls are trying to take control.
Order submitted.
Got an order to take it short if we continue to trade higher. Thinking of signing up with Leeloo, but not sure which option to select. I did use Top Step with no success. So the way that I determined which account I was going to go with, I just looked at it from a perspective or from the point of risk. So I just, I treated it like mentally, like it's my own cash account, and like psychologically, what would I be comfortable with losing per trade, or per how much would I be comfortable with my account going into the red before it affects me negatively to trade, right? So that's just the way that I approach it, just looking at my strategy and how I'm looking at risk, because we can always increase it if depending on where your comfort level is. You can start out small and you can always go higher. It just depends on what you're comfortable with losing risk. That for me personally. I might go one right here. Let me go two.
Order submitted.
I feel like it could go higher. We could also roll over right here. It's sort of an inside candle, but it's very choppy.
Order filled.
Not gonna make any adjustments to it, just gonna leave it as is.
Order canceled. Order submitted. Order submitted.
Are you using OCO orders or brackets on the Powell events? Well, I always use OCO no matter what it is. That's just part of my strategy. So in terms of goal, the Leeloo goal is 3,000. That's the account that I picked. Too many windows up.
Order canceled.
What in the world? Alright, so Ninja Trader is being weird again. It just took out my OCOs as I loaded into the position. So as soon as I get in the green, I'm gonna have to close this position. I have no idea why I did that.
Order submitted. Order submitted. Also looks like my order. Oh no, it was in the right place. No, it couldn't have been.
Still got a few areas of resistance, but buyers are doing a good job in fighting through them. You can see the sellers coming in at those areas of resistance.
Order filled.
Ninja Trader's killing me right now.
Order submitted.
This Ninja Trader platform is making it much harder than it has to be. It's just screwed up how I had my order set, my order set. So hopefully I'll be able to switch up back over to Sierra once I get funded and once I pass this evaluation. So I'm seeing significant resistance around like 424. The buyers will have a lot to fight through if they want to, if they try to push the price higher up through there. Of course, anything is possible. My target right now is at 401 in this short position. I decided not to switch over because, to the other screen because it's too messy, so there's nothing really to take from it. I gotta kind of freestyle this position. But I add some screenshots. In fact, glad I said that. Put that in a journal. 452.
Order submitted. Order filled.
You see buyers continuing to, to fight, or, to push the price higher. But at some point, I do, retracement makes sense in terms of this short-term bullish price action. So that's when I'm looking to take advantage of that. My initial load in was right here. It was supposed to be at 400, but I don't think it filled correctly. And that's when NinjaTrader messed up my OCO orders, and it came up with a weird message that didn't make any sense about the buy limit order or whatever it was, which is basically the target, I think, or the stop. It didn't make any sense because my stop was like not even close to that area. So I'm not really sure what happened right there. I was, putting the information in the journal when that happened. Then I added just a couple more here at 408-ish, in case it rolled over right there, which raised my average price. Again, this is not my desired kind of price action to trade, but it happens sometimes. So actually, it seems like we've been getting this kind of price action a lot, where it seems like it's going to do one thing and then it just does completely the opposite. Definitely sharpening my skills. So at the same time, while I'm not crazy about trading this kind of price action, I am grateful for it because it has made me better.
Order filled. Order filled.
It's partially filling that order. for sure this is going to take me outside of my trading window unless something crazy happens, which that is what it is. And here we go, feeling personal again, where it's getting right to my average price and bouncing off my average price. Which really is not, because my average price is at a key level. So what I'm gonna need is these buyers down here to start taking some profit, and some short sellers to come in and push the price lower. My bad. I've actually been looking at making some adjustments to how I trade. This kind of, when I get myself in this kind of position where the price starts going against me. But it didn't really play out like I was, like I've been looking at lately. Because I don't see a trend change until really above 450. I don't looking for at this point is some retracement. You can see up here at 420 we got some volume coming in.
Order filled.
Right, and I went ahead and closed that position just to stop messing with it. All right, so another day. I think, how many is that for me? That's like within 30 days. That's probably like 5 days that I've had to trade like that, which I'm not a fan of. So when I get, when the position goes that hard against me, like it can continue. More than likely, it will. I see it retracing more than this. But what my goal is, once it goes against me that strongly, I'm just looking to get green and get out. I'm not even looking to, to play with it anymore. So happy that ended up working out again, but not happy that I had to trade it like that. So anyway, that one wraps this one. That will do it for that will be the last trade of the day for me for sure. Definitely appreciate y'all coming in and hanging out with me and trading with me. And I will see you guys next week. Try to get that other video out that I was supposed to put out last weekend. And I'll let y'all later. Trade it easy.